So, do you want to talk about the draft a little bit?
Yeah, we should. Just a little bit.
So, for Fight or Flight, yeah, they got the two solid frontliners in the Quang and the Greystone. Interesting, we haven't seen a Murdoch all today, have we? Just seen, I think we've seen Revenants banned out and Twin Blasts and Sparrow. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see a Murdoch. I don't think we've seen a Yin either. So, but yeah, I think it's like I say, yesterday we're talking about how some of the ADCs felt that the damage from Murdoch was not up to par for compared to the rest of the ADCs, but it still has that global presence in the snipe. Yeah, they got the wombo combo going down with the Decker and the howitzer, so a pretty solid lineup. And like you said, for Pulaski, Polsky, not really changing up too much. Miss QQ going to be going on the gadget, more traditional mid laner rather than the Morogesh. You get a bit of a rough game in mid last round. But when you're up against a Howitzer and a Grux, that's always going to happen, especially when the caliber of the players they were playing against. But they like this Rampage on the support, and it's been doing work today.
All right, cool. I just decreased the auto mod. Sorry. You were talking a little bit about the Decker and Howitzer and the effectiveness of Murdoch, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then also the Satori on the Rampage doing quite good work and securing a lot of good kills, just becoming that extra frontliner and filling in. So it allows them to have Coxer on that off lane play that caster and that damage dealer because they've got two tanks in their jungler and their support.
Right. That is definitely a good way that teams can deal with having a Countess on their side, which, as you said, might not have as much tankiness. In terms of the Murdoch, going back to him, I do want to talk about how teams were using him before compared to how Fight or Flight might be able to use him now. So a lot of the time they did have the lockdown with Countess or Chimera alongside the Murdoch because you have that long stun on top of the long arm of the wall as well. So they have some pretty guaranteed damage every single time they use those ults, which helps the Countess to win in those 1v1 situations, which on Fight or Flight right now, I don't really see anyone like that on their team. So maybe if they want to pick up the Murdoch in the future, they want to go for some long lockdown heroes that can set up for the long arm of the wall pretty well. And we'll have to see. It can be very difficult to get that ult onto Countess as well, since she is able to dodge pretty okay. I'd like to see how the Murdoch does today.
Yeah, like I say, from the players I spoke to, they just felt like the damage drop off and his rework, should we call it, is not as desirable as they hoped it was. Although Hot Pursuit does sound like a really cool ability, that sometimes proves not to. You just end up getting you into danger when you start chasing that kill a little too much.
It sounds a bit underwhelming, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
it sounds like it should be really cool, but when you actually get into a game, you're like, what? It's not really doing too much for me. So, like, maybe it helps you chase down heroes a little bit, but honestly, the way that damage works in this game right now, I just don't feel like it's too useful.
yeah, I think it probably gets into trouble more than often than not, to be honest. Because I'm not sure exactly how the ability works. Do they just have to have a critical person in range, or is it actual line of sight? But yeah, it seems a bit lackluster.
Jeez, why don't
I
our
think.
casters read the patch notes? Jeez.
um, but yeah, I think a lot of Murdoch players would they'd love to have the mine back.
I don't even know what's going on with the stream right now. Are you moving on to anything else?
Now I'm just sat
Still
looking
in the
at a
draft.
yeah.
I just had it cut off for a second. I don't know if they showed us the standings before. I think they did that before we went to break. But we're taking a long time on this draft. I think they did. Of course, I was still trying to figure out some production stuff, which I made a sexy new overlay. Just kidding, it looks exactly like what we were using before, except it's all in one asset now. Maybe I can use this time to continue making my overlay stuff.
Sorry, guys, it's not a great deal to talk about if you just sit on the draft screen for 15 minutes. There's only so much you can analyze.
I mean, we have a lot to talk about. The thing is, I don't know if this draft is ordered. Like, why is Grux being picked up last? Why is the Countess in the 3rd spot? Why is Decker not first picked? Why are there green borders around the first tier on each side? I have no idea.
Oh no!
Like, I would love to talk
captain.
about the actual
The pick order would have been nice.
right, the actual order of the picks and how these teams are like thinking about their draft, but I don't really get that.
Just got to get a sort of a general overall picture of what they have at the end of the draft, really, and what they've targeted. So, Polsky, I think I meant to talk about is Polsky banning out the Sevarog. I think this is the second time they've banned out the Sevarog.
We are in
Just strange.
Fight
Oh, there we go.
or Flight versus
Oh.
PolacyZPolski.
That's good. They pronounce it better than me.
It didn't take much though.
Oh, mouse without borders connecting. What the heck? What in tarnation?
That's a
In
nice view of
any
the
case,
the middle
Discord,
inhibitor there.
whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, we have grass.
Nice. Those textures.
So we get a nice view of the scoreboard here. Do you think we should introduce our teams here, Nate?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything too early just yet. So I'll do fight or flight. So we're going to have Just Mido picking up the Quang, Paddles picking up the Howitzer, BM Never, I'm sure he does, on the Greystone, Fubi 300 on the Murdoch, and Bornze picking up the Decker.
Do you really think that it's BM Never? Honestly.
Yeah, I think looking at this to actually recognise a few of these players. I recognise Bones and Fuba as the two of the players I've seen before, and I'm sure I've heard of BM Never just because the name sort of stuck in my head.
Wait, if you've seen them, doesn't that mean that they must not be good players?
Oh, I didn't play against them.
Well, nice evasion there. I appreciate it, sir. All right. Meanwhile, on PolacyZPolskiPL, it's going to be Satori playing the Rampage, PolacyZPolskiPL himself playing the Grux. Got Prodigy on the Sparrow, Miss QQ playing the Gadget, and then finally Koksu on the Countess. Also, you were very nice about that evasion. You didn't try to turn it around, so I appreciate that.
No, I'm at a level I'm happy with.
Oh, we actually do have a first blood here. I guess we got the tail end of that. Hey, well, you know what? That's better than I did. Sure, we'll go with that.
at least I caught it, and I don't think anyone expected a kill onto a Greystone quite that quickly.
Probably not. But already, we've got PolacyZPolskiPL. Okay, this is actually just fun to say. Putting some pressure on the Greystone, which, as we talked about yesterday, is very important early. You can make sure that he has a slower progression to his level 5, which is where he gets a little bit more aggressive, and then you also halt the progression to level 9, which is his next little power hungry grab for power stuff. Because that makes sense. I didn't want to say power spike because it's not really a spike per se. It's just the fact that his ultimate goes on lower cooldown.
Yeah, it's when he can rotate it. Well, just pick those fights a little bit more. He gets angry as his ultimate goes on a lower cooldown.
Again, we've got pressure onto the offlaners here. Countess getting lower. PolacyZPolskiPL invis here as a Grux. And just Mido. He is moving around as Quang, or Quang, whatever. But neither of them actually able to do anything in that lane. I wish we actually got more of a view of mid, since that is where a lot of, like, sure the side lanes are okay, but mostly it's just going to be Rangers farming. Like, you probably want to look at the jungle rotations on the mid lane a bit more, since that's where a lot more of your early game action goes down.
That's what we usually dub the Fiesta lane, because if anything's going to turn into Fiesta, it's definitely going to be that mid lane with the constant ganks from the mid lane, from the junglers, and the mid laners trying to poke each other out. Oh, just lost my feed.
You did? Oh, that's
Oh,
unfortunate.
I've got it back again.
Oh, nice. Quang is getting aggressive onto Grux inside the jungle. Grux will just force him away, but the Ranger and support are starting to move over, maybe missing a little bit of CS in the lane for that one, but if there was a possibility of the kill, a rotation definitely would have expedited that process a little bit.
On Paddle's doing well there to punch out Miss QQ and force her to back. Let's see if he can do some damage onto the tower. Oh, completely froze. Oh, there we go.
Are you having a lot of issues with your stream?
I've got a couple of freezes.
If you want, I would try reloading it. That seems to help sometimes.
Yeah.
Just Mita will pick up the red buff inside of the river. Satori doesn't seem to worry about him too much. Where's the rotation from the rest of his team, though? Howitzer gets into this one. Missile goes down. Satori will just... where is it? I was going to say lumber, but that's not right.
Yeah, lumber.
He'll lumber away? No, that's not
Amble away.
Amble. Jesus. Thank you. I don't know English. It's tough. English, not good language for me. I don't know what that was supposed to be either. You okay, Nate? Are you still looking?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just watching that fight. The Coxu doing, trying to do what she did in the first game we saw. Oh, nice evasion there from the Greystone. Jumping over that rock. Yeah, just trying to basically just get her levels up, get her XP up, hit that level 5, and then become an actual issue for the enemy duo lane. But, as soon as they hit level 5, the offlaners, that's when they become a problem, and the duo lane has to be on its toes then. Even for the Greystone, you know, you're going to kill him twice. I keep trying to click on the minimap just to have a look at other lanes.
Still making that mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate. That weird nightmare that you seem to be trapped in, where you can't click on the minimap. No, unfortunately, we cannot click on the minimap. But what we can do is continue talking about this match and how Fubi 300 is going for the tier 1 tower here. Meanwhile, on the other side, Team Poland, or PolacyPolskiPL, they'll be going for a tower of their own. Greystone's trying to stop them a little bit, but it's just 2 members from PolacyPolskiPL here trying to take that down. So I would imagine they get it down within maybe another minion wave. BM Never up to level 5, so he does have Reforged available, and we'll see what he can do with it. You do have to be careful with that skill early. If you want to use it, you might decide to use it only when your team is there to help out, since a solo Greystone I wouldn't really worry about too much, especially when there is crowd control for him. Also, so BM Never has that ultimate Reforged, which brings you back. But I just talked about situations in which the Reforged might be good to use or might not be. In Dota 2, there's a hero called Wraith King who has basically the same mechanic. He can respawn at level 6, which is when you get your ultimates. Basically gets a reincarnation. Meanwhile, I don't see... Actually...
Wow, good landmine there.
Fight or Flight seem to be fighting here. We do have... Oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? Howitzer is getting caught out on the high ground. He's about to fall. Tesla Dome nicely dropped down by a Gadget. He's going to have to go through that one. Beautiful leap by Satori. He's going to hit on the 2, popping the Reforge of BM Never. He's going to have to jump away. The tower is not up. PolacyPolskiPL can keep going. Here comes Countess. Blade Sniper is going to pick up the Greystone kill, and Countess still wants to go for more. Could this be a full 5-man team up? The feast is going to be there. Countess will fall, and Fubi 300 continues to try to get away. This could be it. He's going to get another one with a buckshot. Do they still call it buckshot anymore? I don't know. But Prodigy finds another one with a piercing shot, finishing off the full team there. And a beautiful fight from PolacyPolskiPL, honestly. They catch out the Howitzer early, and they turn that into a huge amount of kills with the chase.
Yeah, that was I think that all came down to that really well-timed Tesla Dome from Miss QQ there. I think three people were caught in it and just absolutely melted. I think only one managed to actually get out there alive. Just looking quickly at the builds.
Very quickly.
Not too, just ward strike tokens. A lot more aggression rather than sort of, not a lot of healer tokens coming out. As we have the map bug again, and
all of the
guys trying to. Just gonna put a ward down on Raptors. Just getting ready for when they actually do spawn up. You're gonna see, I don't know. PolacyPolski, they prefer for the enemy team to actually go and then re-engage onto them after they start it. I think the only time I've seen them actually go onto it to initiate is when they've had a team fight and they were, against TA when there were 4 people dead at that point. So they knew they could take it cleanly. It's not something they like to engage on and sort of draw the team fight onto them.
Taking a look at the overall wording here for the teams, we see a lot of focus around the Raptor pit for fight or flight. The teams are on the wrong side. I just noticed this.
Yeah.
I don't know why why it took me so long. Oh well. Lots of words around the pit, and like you said, it's very difficult to take those early if there's any kind of contest from the other team. So what you want to do is try to bait it out, or maybe get a kill or 2 before going in and hope the other team doesn't end up responding. So I'd like to see maybe the Countess rotate to this side of the map a little bit more. 18 card points right now on Prodigy. He's doing quite well as a Sparrow. And PolacyZPolskiPL, they're going to go towards the pit, but do they engage? Yeah, they do. They have the Sparrow ultimate going, has the inner fire, and yeah, they quickly take it out. That's one of the advantages having the Sparrow on your side. They just did throw in the long arm of the wall there. I don't think it ended up doing anything. But that's one of the advantages of having the Sparrow on your side, since you can hit down all of the Raptors at once. So a very quick take for PolacyZPolskiPL. And here comes Satori throwing out the rock, thinking that Paddles was going to maybe continue on his path backwards, but he just jukes towards the wall. Easy dodge of the rock. Sometimes the best way to move is where your opponent does not expect. And yep, we do have the sides changed now. Great. Why do we just have the L cut off on PolacyZPolskiPL?
Not enough money in the budget for that many letters.
Didn't get the next L. Would be nice if we had more in the budget. Meanwhile, though, Satori is going to jump in. Beautiful Tesla Dome once again is going to clean up one member and push Fubi way back. Miss QQ just staring him out of the mid lane. Right now, Poland team needs the minion wave to show up at mid to take that tier 1 tower, but they do have it, again, a bit lower there. They're still not being able to push a whole lot, though. They only have one tower down on the map, and they're going to mass teleport back.
Yeah, I think they just want to refresh and then look to push down a tower. I mean, they got the Raptors very cleanly, so even though they didn't take a tower, they have still taken an objective that they wanted to get onto that Sparrow and get a roll. And it's one of those heroes that, I think it's around the 36 to 40 car point mark is when she can really start laying down some damage and dictating the pace of the game.
Still see that the Spanish cast is not available. Unfortunately, if you were looking to view this in Spanish, which I think you might be today, we do have a lot of Spanish teams in the group, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, unfortunately, you are not going to be helped out today. Maybe you'll get some kind of fun cast on your side. But, Countess possibly caught out a little bit inside the jungle, but they are going to find her and start helping her out on PolacyZPolskiPL. The tower is dead. A little bit of the Dark Tide thrown out there. Koksu still wants to go out here. Here comes Satori. PolacyZPolskiPL also there to help out. Containment Fence is going to keep a lot of members in, but honestly, I don't even think that this side cares. They just took down the one member that they wanted to. Maybe used a lot of mana for it, but they're completely fine to continue to put pressure onto this fight or flight squad.
Yeah, it's always sad when you see that the there's a bit of an optimistic long arm of the law when you see the Deca Cage offensive.
Tesla Zone dropped down. Grux taking most of the harass from the tower, and he's going to turn around just outside of the range. I can't really see too much. Just Mito about to have the green buff pop. That could do some damage to the Grux. Does he actually get out of this one? I can't even believe it if he does. Greystone does not have the hops to make it that far, and Grux gets away. Tanky member of the team, he's going to make it out, while 2 members of Fight or Flight end up dying.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't. It looks like the tower sort of hesitated to take the shot then. Just like, is he going to get out? I'll let him off this time. And managed to get off the tower before it took his life.
Yeah, sometimes it can feel like the tower takes a bit long to actually attack a hero. At least it feels like to me. It feels like forever. Until they...
Playing half lane like tower, please.
Maybe towers do need to be buffed. Or maybe it's just certain players that they don't attack. Right now, it's a little bit difficult to see the overall status of the game without the scoreboard. I would say that PolacyPolskiPL are in a pretty good spot. I mean, if we look at just the levels which we do have access to right now, they do have a slight lead on a few characters. Level 9 actually on Koksu. He's been doing a really good job of making sure he continues to farm, get his levels up, and keep that effectiveness as Countess, because it's one of the heroes that benefits the most from having a lot of experience, just because you increase the damage on your big nuke abilities, which is a big part of the hero.
Yeah, like I say, he's hit that level 9, so now that feast is going to be hitting really hard. Even if he doesn't have the card points to back it up, obviously the damage a lot of times comes from the levels for the casters, so hitting that level 9 is really important, and he's already been doing work without it.
Grab out onto the Decker. She tries to jump away. She tries to use her regen abilities, but it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, Mito on the other side, he's going to be just absolutely shellacked by the Sparrow, and Fubi about to be taken out as well. That's a lot of the fight or flight damage. Hauser will manage to get away with the make it rain, but I don't know if he can defend this tower at all. And actually, I don't know if he's going to have to, because the Raptor play immediately comes from PolacyPolskiPL.
Yeah, and I don't think Pattle's going to do anything. I mean, he's not great on life, and he has no mana, so he can't even try and make a... I've been impressed with Pulaski's Raptors takes. They know exactly when they can push it, and they just want to take it cleanly all the time. They don't want to sort of contest it in a traditional manner where all the teams are up. They just wait till they've got that pick or they've had that good team fight, and then they go into the Raptors, take it cleanly and back up. The other thing I want to talk about is Miss QQ's Tesla domes have all been in really good situations and really good placement, where getting 2-3 man coin every time in a position where the enemy team sort of need to defend or need to group up but can't, because the Tesla dome placement has been really on point.
Yeah, this is something that I think a lot of Gadget players could learn from, because maybe it's just positioning from the enemy team, but it seems like he's getting nearly a good Tesla dome off every single time, and that's without a Decker on his side. It just seems like he's putting it in all of the right positions. A lot of the time I think it's a good zoning tool, and also heavily involved with the actual positioning of the make it rain. Countess trying to juke and jive around this one, but look at this, the turnaround from PolacyPolskiPL. They're going to go for the Quang, trying to kill him off. You're nearly done. There's the Countess, just making him medium rare, roasting him over in his own lane. And meanwhile, on the other side, Sparrow might be taking a little bit of damage. She's going to find Fubi, though. Decker's going to be there. Can she even stand against this one? Sparrow's at half health. I don't think that a Decker can play here. The stun should be okay, but the rest of the team might end up being able to make it into the fight. She's going to drop down the hail of arrows and still chases the Decker down. I've never seen a Sparrow bloodthirstier than this. Going after her support, blinks forward. She's going to go for the damage. The stun will hit, but where's the piercing shot? Oh, not going to hit this time around. Meanwhile, though, Howitzer in the mid lane. That's not a scoreboard we want to be looking at. Hello.
Yeah,
anyway,
just to say what we took from the score. Polska actually 15 kills to 2 right now. So even though it looks like a sort of a slow, grindy game with the team fights, it look, you know, Polska are at a sort of 5-to-1 sort of ratio for how their kills are going. Although Prodigy does get picked up there.
I feel like I could see more kills in this game if I had my eyes closed.
Maybe,
all right,
maybe we go back to our camera work for the next game.
Maybe, maybe. But that means I have to work all day. That's not fun.
Yeah, we're here for the people, mate. We're here for the people.
True.
Not your selfish needs.
Yeah. Screw myself. Who cares about me? Well, in any case, we're about 20 minutes into this game. Raptors will respawn in a little less than 2 minutes. OP is up. Nobody's going for it. I would feel like the Polish team needs a bit more of an advantage before they actually do. Or at least a couple of heroes falling. Kwang getting the wraparound onto Koksu. Can he get his damage off? She's going to Shadow Slip over to the minion wave here. And, oh no, here they go. The turnaround from PolacyZPolskiPL. Satori just sits right on top of him. Containment Fence will keep the Gadget and the Countess and someone else out of that fight. I'm very lucky there was a Gadget there because I was about to say the wrong hero. But in any case, a Containment Fence slows down the counterplay from PolacyZPolskiPL, and now the Sparrow might be a bit too far. Using the inner fire to go for the Klong, taking him. What can the Sparrow do today? She's playing against her world right now. The Howitzer is going to chunk her down. Finally, they have that damage. Satori comes in maybe a little bit late, is now surrounded on all sides by Fight or Flight, and Fight he is not going to do. Will be killed off by Bonzi of all heroes. And while he really did need to go and help the Sparrow, she's doing a lot of damage, but unfortunately, as soon as the Howitzer arrives, that was all she wrote for the Polish side.
Yeah, the Sparrow just getting caught out a little bit. Did well to at least pick up a kill, getting surrounded by 4 of the enemy team. The Rampage story just landing a little bit too late to really help out a teammate, and then ultimately going down.
Ultimately, using her... Sorry. Going too far. Going too far, ladies and gentlemen. At least Fight or Flight were able to get a couple kills there. And again, it's looking like PolacyZPolskiPL are making some of the same late game decisions that hurt them against Toronto Esports.
Yeah, I think all they need to do really is just group, because when they fight so effectively in a unit, and when their counter engagers come in, they're very sharp and on point. So just gonna take these Raptors again now, pretty much for free. No contest from the from Fight or Flight now.
One thing that I haven't mentioned too much at all today, if Twitch is having some errors for you or maybe buffering a lot, you might try to check out the YouTube, which does have some better performance for people sometimes, and we are able to offer that service today because we're not involved with the PCL currently. We are okay. We might want to actually look at people doing stuff on the map, but because we're not partnered with Twitch on this channel or in any capacity related to casting this particular event, we are able to restream on YouTube. So the channel is a similar name over there, so you can go check that out. Also use the exclamation YouTube in the chat. Thank you to Shikamaru for checking that out. Anyway, what do we got here, Nate? What's been happening?
No, a great deal. Just seems
really
both
nothing?
teams literally nothing. Yeah, it just seems to be. Satori's just
We have a
Just
replay
chilling on
bug
this
on
fog wall.
that. Yeah, he's not going to fix that because Satori is actually in the mid lane. Actually, Satori is in 2 places at once.
This must be a new passive that I missed.
Amazing. It's just like a clone that gets put out on the map. The rock slightly misses on the Howitzer, forcing Satori to have to back away, but he's going to get landmine right into the mid. He's just sitting places. This is a new Rampage bug. Tesla Dome dropped down, making it difficult for Fight or Flight to pursue the Gadget much further, but here comes the rest of the team, ready to fight a little bit. Koksu underneath the top. I don't really know what PolacyZPolskiPL are thinking right now. They want to dive a tier 2 tower, but the rest of the team isn't there for the follow-up, and they can't actually kill anybody for these dives. This is not what we should expect from a top-tier team.
No, it just seems like a really disjointed engagement there. Just half the team wanted to go forward, half the team wanted to pull back, and no one seemed to be talking to each other there. So I'm just still marveling at that Rampage.
I feel like this is the new Bellica drone bug, just rampages.
but a Rampage instead of a drone. Oh, see, Firefly.
Really good World Challenge on the 2. PolacyZPolskiPL coming in here with a smash and grab. He's playing all on his lonesome here, and again, it's the same thing. Again, where they go in without the rest of the team. He's doing damage, but there's no follow-up, and then he just can't handle the damage. He can't handle the damage. Kwang trying to do his thing here inside the jungle, looking for a good judgment, looking for a good making you stand in place and shit your pants of the heavens. Because every ability that he has ends in of the heavens. We see some more kills for Fight and Flight. Honestly, with the performance against Toronto Esports in the last game from PolacyZPolskiPL, we expected something better from them here, but they need to buckle down and not give up this OP, not continue to give up these fights. Just Mita going in against Koksu. Doesn't look like the missile, maybe it did hit because her health is very low. Shadow slipping background being very evasive. Come on, pick up the Countess cameraman. Can't do it. She's gonna die.
Yeah, it seems like Polska, they took the foot off the pedal, so sometimes we have this when I don't want to say bigger teams and smaller teams, but when teams are playing against big name teams like Toronto, they sort of put that extra 20% effort in and really, you know, try hard, for want of a better term. And then when they go to a team that's probably not well known, just think they can cruise it, and then Team Fight or Flight are just punishing them for that.
Still Koksu, I mean, he has to take advantage of his levels a little bit more here. They're allowing this Murdoch back into the game. He's at 39 card points, the Sparrow at 42. But Fight or Flight, they've been coming out on top of a lot of these fights. So they might want to do that more in the future. But these teams really have to be thinking about the OP buff at this point, making sure that no one can get it. And with Murdoch on the other side, there is, like, they have to be careful their position. Like, you have to keep control of that left lane, but you do not want to put yourself in a position where you just get the Prime Stone up underneath you, which you saw Finesse do in the last PCL. They saw that, they made the call that Reborn were going for Raptors, and they said, okay, we'll go on OP. And they did, and they got the OP. I think they only had 2 people alive after that fight, and both were very low. But that's where they ended up winning the game, and that's just how good the late game decision making can do for you. Just how much good.
Yeah, it looks like Fight or Flight now are doing what I thought Polsky should have been doing. They're grouping a lot quicker, and they're taking the fights when they want to take the fights rather than just... I mean, it looked like Polsky just sort of dived in on his own, and I think he had to do something, but he could have just sort of dashed in, done a little bit of damage, and backed off rather than trying to push the fight against a 4v1 even further, and essentially just giving himself up as a free kill.
Oh, we're gonna fix the bugs. We're fixing the bugs now, boys. I love it. I love it. Yeah, press that -10. Sync it up. Sync it up. This is so exciting. It's probably the most exciting thing that I've seen all day. Honestly, this anti-spoiler shield and them syncing up the time. Oh, it's so German. It's so amazing. Actually,
Yeah, God.
I'm surprised the anti-spoiler isn't in German, because I think honestly I'd rather see it in German. Well, in any case, this is going to open up the door for PolacyZPolskiPL to try to take some Raptors. They're taking them very quickly. Quang wants to get in. He's going to throw out the sword. Oh, here comes the Greystone as well. BM Never. I feel like I've never seen him this game, but he is getting into the fight now. The long arm of the wall thrown out a little bit preemptively. We do have Prodigy getting caught out a little bit inside of the pit. Make It Rain drop down by the howitzer. You can see him dropping down once again. Satori is going to be getting low. He's almost blocking his team in there with his large body, but Just Mito is going to be one to fall. Same with BM Never. I just have not seen this Greystone get involved in the game too much at all, and he dies once again there. 2 kills for PolacyZPolskiPL after that.
Yeah, good. Yeah, nice. I think they got all the Raptors there. Quang not able to really do anything. Picked up the 2 kills as well, so they'll be very happy with that engagement. And this is what we said. When they do go in as a team and fight as a team, they do well. It's when they start trying to do their own things and not really communicating that we see them struggle.
You said doo-doo. Sorry.
So mature.
This is early pith. I should not be alive at 9 a.m. on a Sunday.
Both teams sort of regrouping. I don't know. Is Fight or Flight looking at the posturing around the OP? It looks like they're gonna. Okay.
What's up, mate? What's up?
I'm just wondering what they were doing with the bubble and the stun on the OP there. Just trying to assert dominance over the OP, so we'll be back for you.
Oh yeah, this game is all about dominance. If you ask It's Mike, he'll tell you. It's Mike TV. Go follow him on Twitch. Also follow or subscribe to our YouTube so that you can catch up on all the VODs. We have a rule in our PCL where we're not allowed to upload content within 24 hours of it streaming on Twitch. But here we have no such stipulations, no rules. We can do whatever we want. So I uploaded those very quickly yesterday.
It's why I'm
Gaming.
casting in my pants right now. So
I'm
sorry,
hoping,
underwear.
I'm hoping you're wearing.
Huh?
Okay, sorry.
Just
I'm a
underwear.
little bit turned on. Cap of pride.
So
All right.
a
Nobody's
bit of a
taken
lull
OP
in the
yet.
game. Yeah,
They're making a
yeah,
little
they
bit of
just
a dance
sort of-
there.
They're just sort of both posturing around it, but no one really. Again, no one wants to engage in it. Want the other team to, and then take a clean OP.
You keep cutting yourself off for some reason. Maybe it's the
I keep
connection.
cutting myself off. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Smash grab out into Just Mito. Looking for the Warriors challenge. Gonna put it there. The Hail of Arrows gonna maybe do a little bit of zoning. There's a containment fence on the backside, which we don't see at all. There's the Feast out onto Kwang, taking the tank out of the fight very early, but they put a lot onto him. Can they have enough for anybody else? Fubi taking some damage underneath the tower. He'll blink over to the side. Ah, man, not seeing a whole lot here. Satori is gonna continue chasing the Murdoch, and well, the Murdoch honestly needs some help. Tesla don't drop down onto the howitzer, making it so that he really can't get into that fight at all. And BM Never finally getting a kill onto Miss QQ. Rock hits onto Bouncy, and he's going to be body blocked out of any kind of retreat. Here he goes, trying to make it out behind the Greystone. Smash and grab is not going to hit onto anything somehow, but Cox is still going to get the kill onto Bonzi. BM Never very low, not falling just yet, and Fight or Flight have to lick their wounds if they get back to the base. And PolacyZPolskiPL, that's time for OP.
Yeah. So this is what they were looking for. Just get that good team fight, get a couple of 3 enemy team members down, and they can take this clean OP. Only really missing Miss QQ. That Tesla Dome is a very good tool to secure the OP, but while they've got the numbers, it's easy enough for them to just go and burn it down. Especially with the Grux and a Sparrow and a Rampage tank in it.
They very quickly take that down, get an OP, another thing for their push towards the base. One thing that they might have liked to do is wait a couple of seconds so they could actually have the OP buff on Gadget. Apparently they can't wait that long, and it is a risky thing to do. I feel like it was close enough that they could have done it if they wanted to, but unfortunately, Miss QQ will have to make his way around the map without that OP buff. Poor guy.
He's been doing work with those Tesla Domes without it, I'm sure.
You keep cutting yourself off. Yeah.
Oh, is it my mic?
Maybe. I mean, it doesn't sound like a connection thing. Well, hopefully you can figure that out.
Yeah, give me a second.
Honestly, though, I would expect PolacyZPolskiPL, it's so much fun to say, to push in a lot here. They haven't even taken the jump pads away from Fight or Flight. It is difficult to play against an OP buff, but we'll see if this German side can do it. It's very difficult in terms of coordination, but teams can do it if given the opportunity. But here comes PolacyZPolskiPL, and these Polacks are not going to be giving up anytime soon. Tier 2 tower under attack, and will be falling very quickly. Meanwhile, Countess is making space over on the left side, keeping Greystone out of the fight. That's perhaps why we haven't seen him around too much this game at all, but he does have a bit of a more compact area to defend now, as Countess is still going for the left lane. And why? Why does the Sparrow recall there? It's a little bit confusing. She does have to defend the right lane.
But you think, what? I mean, I don't think they're
Why send the Sparrow?
gonna fall. Yeah, of all the heroes.
Like, just send the Countess because that's basically what she's been doing the entire game. And, like, sure, she helps out with the damage, but honestly, you can clear out waves very easily with a Countess and do it quickly as well. Lots of sustain there. So, they're going to still try to...
Your most consistent damage dealer away when the Countess can do the job in about 2 clicks.
Yeah, it's just strange to me. But Sparrow will push the right lane a little bit. OP buff is now gone, or is getting close to being gone. I don't have timers on that anymore. That's something that I should time.
Yeah.
I should time how long the OP buff is on heroes. Right, noted. We'll make those production improvements in the future, ladies and gentlemen. Just thinking of things on the fly here. Tier 2 tower being taken out by PolacyZPolskiPL. So much fun to say. As do we have no Sparrow's back in the base? What is going on in the base that is so interesting that Sparrow needs to be over there?
It's a good question. Reapplied makeup? I'm not sure.
Get a couple of arrows. Spoiler alert, unlimited ammo here in Paragon. You'll never run out, I swear. You might have to reload if you're playing Revenant, but unlimited ammo.
Yeah, I'm surprised that, I mean, they took a tier 2 out of that, but they didn't really do much with that OP drive, really. And now they're going to have to wait at least another 6 minutes, probably, to try and get another OP and
I mean,
make another concerted push.
they could be aggressive, but the way things have been going for PolacyZPolskiPL, they're probably just going to elect to, I don't know, keep doing their own thing here. Probably would like to get a look at the scoreboard and maybe get another spoiler bar to correct these bugs on the Grux and the Klong. And there's a lot of bugs in the game right now.
Yeah, I still think the sitting rampage is my favorite.
the clones.
Yeah. So they're gonna invade the enemy jungle, just take away this green buff.
I'm very cautious about it though. Like really feeling that the absence of the Countess, not wanting to do anything without her. Still a tier 2 tower in the right lane. Countess is gonna go and take care of that. For some reason, they've never really set the right lanes. They always seem to be worrying about that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at least they sent the Countess over to do it this time rather than drag the Sparrow away. But it feels like they're almost playing nervously, where they don't want to engage. They just want to try and farm up and take the fights really carefully. Which we've seen from some of them engagement. Doesn't really feel like them.
Well, luckily for PolacyZPolskiPL, the OP will respawn in about a minute. They've got 3 members on mid, 2 on left, and right now, fight or flight, they're kind of trapped in the middle in the jungle. Satori maybe could come in from behind, although it looks like the Greystone manages to get underneath the safety of his tower. Throwing out a couple of the sticky mines from the gadget. Satori starts to work on the inhib. Nice double stun from the Decker. And also Spare's being kept out of the fight as well. Grux tries to get away, but he's right underneath the containment fence. The Make It Rain eventually comes out, but the biggest damage from that is not going to be coming out in time. Eventually that unkillable Kwang will die. Or Kwang will die. Satori, he's going to go right for these heroes, jumping on top of them. And that's all heroes dead. That's actually all heroes dead because Kwang died at the beginning of it, so difficult to see that fight from our current view, but eventually PolacyZPL will come out on top. It's just really difficult, honestly.
Just the one minion, so they're gonna have to wait for the next minion.
Yeah.
Go, but they've got around. I mean, it's only going to be the Decker up in around 20 seconds. The rest of the team coming up in around 35, 45. But that's going to be more than enough time for this Polish team to smash this cause to small pieces.
Yeah, when they're all dead this late into the game, there's only so much you can do. So, do we get a scoreboard? If not, I will provide one for you. Oh, my scoreboard's wrong. Can we... Yep, that's fine. Alright, I'll just show you guys the scoreboard because I do have it available to me. Can I get to that? Thank you. Alright, here's our scoreboard for you guys after the game. We see some corrected values on the heroes. 2 thermobonds on PolacyZPolskiPL. Very tanky at the end of that one. And a 15-point Necro Veil on Countess. Interesting cards here.
Yeah,
so
I've seen that. Sorry, in the last game, the Necroveil, and really it just allows them to Coxu to dive deep, get that kill, then gives that 3-second window to try and make her escape if the enemy team are trying to engage on her. I was picking up that Stasis gem, so really looking at a build that was able to sort of dive deep into the enemy back line, do the damage that she needs to, pick up the kill, and then try and get out of there, or trying to hold theirs long enough for the team to rotate onto them.
Um,